location of your emergency?
Yes. My son is unresponsive right now. He got something coming out of his mouth.
What do you think is coming out?
I'm not sure what it is. I know he likes to eat his own poop and lay in his own pee all day.
Can't get him to eat his breakfast. He don't want to eat his breakfast. All he want to do is eat his feces, so.
He said he pulled it out and he was squirting blood?
Yeah.
The tarp?
On the tarp. No, he pulled the stick out. Or whatever, the stool piece. He pulled it out of his.
If you're already appalled, you're not even 1% ready for what this 30-year-old man, Almutahan McLean, is going to share, do, and act out in this video. On December 16, 2019, his son Dakota Collins was supposed to turn 11, but that celebration was one he would never see. Instead, on December 13th, Al made a 911 call that left everyone's blood boiling.
What do you think is coming out?
I'm not sure what it is.
Can you clean that out of his mouth a little bit? Take your fingers and clean it out of his mouth, just so he doesn't choke on anything?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, just mental behavior. See, he just hurts himself all the time. He wake up, don't get his way, slam his head, eat his
All right, I understand. Okay.
It never ends.
Okay, are you cleaning whatever you pee out of his mouth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you think he could have taken anything, or you have no idea?
I know he likes to eat his own poop and lay in his own pee all day.
Okay.
He won't stop at no cost.
Okay, so if he's breathing, let him breathe. We're going to go ahead and start CPR, okay? So keep him clean where he is, okay?
Okay.
Is that
I'm blowing in his breath.
Okay,
and it smells real rotten in the inside of his stomach.
Is he breathing? And you're going to blow 2 breaths into his mouth, okay? You're going to cover his mouth with your mouth. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
1934 Kensington Street in Dayton, Ohio was a house of horrors. This time, though, things were different. The officers from the Dayton Police Department reached the house 8 minutes and 13 seconds after the 911 call was made. It would be the most terrible thing they would see in their entire career. Al was waiting for them at the door, while his biological son, Dakota, was inside. While the officers were trying to help Dakota, Al was busy telling Officer Evans about what a terrible child he was. While you already have a hint that something is wrong with Al, all his secrets lie behind just one question. What happened that day? No doubt the police had the same question, so he was taken to the station for a round of questioning.
What else you right here? And that blue chair? That blue chair right there.
We are going to be interviewing you in regards to the crime of a homicide. Okay.
Homicide, that's like premeditated.
Homicide is kind of a catch-all for somebody that died more than likely not of natural causes. Make sense?
Yeah.
So it kind of covers a lot of things. It could be murder, it could be...
That's the thing. I don't even know why my child is dead. You heard me? I still don't know.
If your child's dead?
No, they just told me he did, but they didn't tell me what killed him or anything like that. You hear me?
That's kind of what this opportunity is for you to tell us.
To discuss it with you.
Weren't there.
Right.
You were there. We weren't.
Right.
So this is, once we go through your rights, this is your opportunity to kind of tell us what happened today and how he died, how he became unresponsive because we weren't there.
Right.
Al's inquiry whether homicide means premeditated is a good but obvious strategy to gauge the detective's perception of the situation.
Okay. Yeah. We want you to tell us, because we weren't there, what happened today.
Well, it's what happened. I ain't slept in about 3 days, right? Kid keep falling down the stairs, keep knocking his head around. It looked like something was wrong with his stomach last night that I noticed. And I gave him some water to throw up. You know what I mean? I had him drink like several cups of water because it looked very odd normal. And I know that he used to eat his own shit. So I just wanted to make sure that he was okay. So he drank the water. That was it. And I guess he goes back upstairs and acting out some more. I mean, jumping off the banister, everywhere, the usual, might I add. I've been dealing with this for probably since he was 2 years old, he's been doing this. Yeah, and So I'm very tired. I ain't slept in 3 days, so I'm just sitting there. And here he come rolling down the stairs again, ba-doom, ba-doom. So I tell him to go back upstairs. A little while later, I go up there. I see a stick in his ass, like a chair leg. So I asked him, what is he doing? And he's just steady, you know what I mean? Just steady doing what he do. This ain't the first time he tried something like that. So I see blood on the ground and I asked him to pull it out. You know what I mean? Blood squirted immediately. Now I'm freaking out. I'm like, hurry up. You need to get downstairs so I can get you in the shower. You know what I mean? And see what's going on. So at the time, I didn't think nothing of it. I just see that he bruised up as usual. Seeing he never stopped. He would find any type of way, anything to use just to put a bruise on his body. So as a parent, I just put him in the shower. I put him in the bathtub to try to, get some of the swelling to go down or whatever the situation may have been, clean him up, make sure he was good. So I'm sitting on the couch. And he like, Dad, come here. He like, Dad, help. So I come up the stairs to help him. And that's when I noticed his body was cold, very, very, very cold. So I took him downstairs and tried to rinse him off, to see if he'd shake out of it, wake up. I had no clue of knowing that he was sick to that extent, or that this is gonna go anywhere near this far. I just figured he was doing his normal acting out. He was kind of tweaking a little bit, you know what I mean? But as far as just like this, this is my way of describing it, just like this. But this is something that he done pulled for many years. All the time. Damn near every day. Every time he don't want to have his way, this is what he's pulling. Can't get him to eat his breakfast. He don't want to eat his breakfast. All he want to do is eat his feces. So I'm like, all right, at this point, there's nothing I can do but let him sit there and lay down. Okay. So, like I said, he said, Dad, help. And I came up the stairs. That's why I'm shocked. Right now, I'm not even crying or nothing. I'm just like in shock. Like, my child really dead? How? You hear me? It's what I don't understand. Now, I know them girls didn't do nothing to him and kill him. I just don't understand it. I'm very serious. That's where I'm at. It was shocking. Yeah.
Al seems to be laying the groundwork for a narrative where his abusive actions can be painted as reactions towards a difficult child, which brings us to Al's discussion about Dakota eating his own feces. What you're about to hear now will make a shiver run down your spine. Dakota was a normal child born in a dysfunctional family. When Al's 3-year-old brother came to live with the family, Dakota's clothes were taken away, and he was made to live in the attic upstairs because Al considered Dakota a threat to his little brother. So a new house rule was made. Dakota could only use the restroom when Al's brother was asleep. Dakota ate food like the rest of us until one day when he defecated in the attic because he wasn't allowed downstairs. Al, in a fit of rage, thought the best way to clean the attic was to compel Dakota to eat his feces. Dakota refused, cried, and begged, only to have Al wear a glove and force feed him. Ever since then, Dakota continued to do this as he thought he'd be beaten up more than usual if he didn't.
Yeah, my little brother started living with us, right? And the Bob wanted to get aggressive with him and, try to take his clothes off in front of him and stuff like that. So, I had to protect him. I had to just send Dakota upstairs. The living environment, it was fine. It wasn't, it was perfect, actually. When he went up there, it didn't stink. He had a bed, he had clothes, he had everything he wanted. But this is the point that I'm trying to make as a parent. This is how far this shit go. I had social services out there. I called the police. The police told me he was being unruly and that when he got a little older, they'll be able to, put him in some type of juvenile center. And this is the day after he jumped out the window. I'm traumatized every day It's a new show.
Here we have two sides. First, there's Al lying through his teeth, saying he was trying to take care of Coda and provide him with everything that he needed. The second is the data that the police have already collected, which highlights Al's failure to provide proper food, clothing, and sanitary living conditions for his son. Dakota hadn't just jumped out of the window for fun. It was his fight or flight reflex. Now, whose side you believe is your choice.
Like, he would come down, I would invite him to watch TV. He's my son, he was handsome, he looked just like me. You know what I mean? And I would invite him to sit down, watch TV, and this, that, and the third. And he would just, and I mean, the smell was so loud, I can go up there and clean it every day. And 5 years from now, you'll probably smell it. So if it was the fumes, I don't know what it was. I mean, I did everything in my power. That bucket that was upstairs, I used to put soap and water in it and have him clean it up. Clean the floor up, clean your walls, clean it up. Like, it's just unbearable. I'm downstairs on the couch. I can't even sleep because the smell is so strong. Yeah, I mean, outrageous. And he getting put in the shower every day on a regular, you know what I mean? But regardless, it'd be like you never put a drop of water or soap on him. It's very shocking right now, the fact that he did. I mean, I never thought that he would end up dead. I figured if he eat his own poop, I even Googled it, like, will it hurt you? And they was like, nah, you know, to a certain extent, you know what I mean? Just to see, because, I mean, I was to the point where, what am I supposed to do? Call the police and be like, oh, my son is over here eating today?
Did you ever take him to the doctor?
Yeah, he's been to the doctor.
You have?
Yeah.
What's the doctor?
It's been so long, I don't even know. I just know it's probably like, well, my health insurance ran out. Probably close to 3 years ago.
So the kid hasn't seen a doctor in 3 years?
Yeah, but he been to the hospital and less than that.
When
so
was he at the hospital?
Probably like a year ago when he jumped out the window.
State Children's?
Yeah, he always been very healthy.
Where did you take him to the doctor?
I only took him to the hospital, and I only took him to the doctor when he needed it, and it won't nothing wrong with him.
He's eating his own feces. There's something wrong with him.
I mean, but besides the fact, now I took that into consideration. He's been to counseling his whole life. See, I could tell y'all.
So where did they go to therapy at?
He ain't been to therapy in a little while.
You said he's on his own.
He has been, I'd say, probably like 4 years ago.
So he has been in counseling for 4 years, but he's been in the whole life.
Maybe off and on. I probably had some online counseling services or online counselors talk to him. But
where did they go to school?
He's homeschooled. Thank you. But the thing is, like, when I did have counselors speak to him, he would play them so slick to the point where they'd be like, you know, he's all good and golden. Like, they wouldn't believe the stories that I tell them.
Nobody knows what he means. He's using words like probably to answer whether Dakota had access to therapy and counseling. How can he probably be getting that? Who was ensuring it if not Al himself? Al is framing his sentences as if Dakota lived in the lap of luxury. In reality, Dakota was denied basic amenities and essential medical care when he needed it most. Despite Al's big claims, he never took Dakota to the hospital except when Dakota jumped out of a window to escape Al's beating. Since that day, Al had the window locked and covered, making the attic even more of a dungeon of punishment. At this point, it seems like whatever Al is saying is not just him trying to deflect his guilt, but also a sad effort of trying to fool the detectives. It leaves no doubt that Al's personality borders into psychopathy.
He got suspended, so where did he go to school?
He was going to Horseman. He's been homeschooled for the last 2 years.
Who's homeschooling him?
I was. Yep.
Why do you have to think about that?
My lip hurt. I'm just like, you know, I've been up for 3 days. As I'm telling you, I still haven't took a nap, been to sleep. So I'm doing my best.
And you've been up for 3 days because he's been walking into walls and falling down?
Not 3 days straight, but every now and then. I mean, he would go maybe one day, yeah, pretty much, or yelling. No, he was just yelling and screaming.
That's different than what you told us earlier, though.
No, that's what he do every day. But what I'm saying is what kept me up was his tone. Yelling, screaming, singing, dancing. Boy, it's 3 a.m. No sleep.
Okay, so you homeschool him.
Yes.
What grade is he in?
5th grade.
So, I want to talk about today. You said you haven't been to sleep, is that right?
I stay ahead, man. No, man.
Okay. So, what happened when he woke up this morning then?
He never went to sleep.
Okay, so then what happened? What's been going on since 6 a.m. this morning?
So, 6 a.m. this morning, I look at the camera. I see him plunging on his table. His chair. I don't think nothing about it. I'm just like, he's doing his normal weird things. So sometimes I felt like ignorance was the best answer, because he was basically just seeking attention at any cost. You know what I mean? Any cost. He's been dealing with this since he was younger. He's been in the system since he was 2 years old. Anytime he didn't have his way, he'd make sure CPS show up at the house.
Okay, so keep going with your story.
He would tell him just anything. The most outlandish thing. And Daddy said, kill myself. I'm gonna, this, that, and the third. And then come home and, how's the day? Everything was fine.
People who abuse their own kids often have a few common traits. So is Al a product of a traumatic past, a frustrated parent, or just someone who missed the memo on basic empathy? Without any background information into Al's early years, it remains a guessing game. He, however, did have a rocky relationship with Dakota's mother and had an ugly custody battle with her. In fact, Dakota's mother, Robin Collins, did try to help her son.
Okay, and what's the custody situation with you guys?
He has full custody. Our custody agreement is that he's supposed to bring him back to the state 4 times a year. I'm supposed to have phone conversations with him once a week, talk to his schooling, and talk to his doctors. He has not abided by the court order in 4 years. I did not know where he was living because he was supposed to be living in Erie, Pennsylvania. Thank God that he caught a drunk driving in Dayton, Ohio, and now I have his address. I've been trying to work with him to talk to my son, and he gave me a bunch of things that are very concerning. He locked him in his room. He tried to jump out a window. He sent him to school in a diaper. He pulled him out of school. He whipped him with a belt. Just a bunch of stuff that's very concerning to me.
While making this call for a welfare check, Robin had no idea her son would die in a few months. Even though Robin couldn't reach him, doesn't mean Al was handling Dakota alone. He had been living with his 28-year-old girlfriend, Amanda Hines, and her 25-year-old sister, Ebert. So naturally, we have to question what Amanda and Jennifer were doing when Al was making Dakota go through hell.
Did they say what happened? Huh? Did they say how he died? What happened? They didn't tell me.
That's why we want to talk to you. Okay, where was the Dakota?
I think he's in the bathtub. I heard him in the bathtub.
He was in the bathtub?
Mm-hmm. He should have been taking a bath. Because I woke up and I was still in my pajamas. I just left. I didn't even get anything to drink or use the bathroom.
You didn't do anything, you just went without brushing your teeth or anything?
Yeah, I just got up a lot. I thought it was later what it was. I used to bank before I closed. I had bills to pay, so I had to hurry and get the money in there. She had to work till 11, so I came back home.
So you were going to go over to her house?
Mm-hmm. I went over there for Thanksgiving.
Who's your friend?
Victoria.
And she works at Walgreens?
Mm-hmm.
Who was in there? Was he in there with anybody?
The door was closed. He was by himself.
Where was everybody else?
My sister was in her room, and Josiah was in the toy room playing.
And where was Al?
He was sitting on the couch.
Did you guys talk at all before you left?
I just said, I gotta run to the bank. I'll be back. He didn't even answer the phone. I was trying to call him, but his phone was off.
So he had his phone off?
Mm-hmm. I was trying to ask if he needed anything while I was out. But it's not unusual. His phone is always off.
So how long have you guys been together?
8 years in there.
And he has other children.
Mm-hmm.
He has other children, right? Where are they?
North Carolina, last I knew. He lived with his mother.
Living with who?
Your mother.
Why is, so Dakota was the only one that you guys had?
Mm-hmm.
So, tell me about Dakota.
What about him? Like, what do you...
I mean, just kind of tell me about him. I don't know anything about him.
Mm-hmm. Well, when we first got together, he was fighting for custody of him in Wisconsin. That's how we met. He got overnight visits with him, and he was a good kid. Bounced around foster home. Then after probably a few years after we got custody, we moved here in 2014. He went to school at Horseman. He had a lot of behavior problems. He was going to get kicked out of school. So we just decided to homeschool him to see if that would work. He just didn't listen. He didn't want to. He had behavior problems. The therapist said that he didn't need therapy. He was only in therapy a couple of times. Yeah. Threatened me with a knife one time, so I took all the knives away. And I just put them in my bedroom.
So Josiah, whose baby is Josiah?
It's Al's brother.
His mom's baby?
Yes.
Or dad's?
His mom's. I don't think they know their fathers.
Okay. So how do you guys have him?
She left him with us, and we were just taking care of him. I haven't talked to her in a while. She's, I don't know if she's in jail or what. I haven't talked to her.
She like just dropped him off and...
We went and picked him up. When we picked him up, he had really bad diaper rash. He was underweight. He was with his aunt, which is her sister. She wasn't taking care of him. She sold all this stuff, so we went and picked him up.
And you've had him pretty much his whole life?
Mm-hmm. He was like a year old. I mean, I think Al talks to his mother, but I don't, so I don't know what her plans were. I haven't spoken to her in a good year or so.
So where does everybody in the house, like, where do they sleep?
Well, Al and I have our bedroom, and Josiah sleeps on the couch. Just varies. Then there's a bedroom across from us, which is where Squirrel sleeps at. And then my sister kind of made her bedroom in the back of the house. It's kind of
Okay, so let me... Dakota stays in the bedroom
across from mine.
Josiah doesn't stay in there at all?
He naps in there.
Okay.
And where my sister's at?
Yeah, she's, we just put her in a
different
room.
Bipolar and ADHD depression, and she's not all there. She's got a learning disability, so I'm not sure she's alright.
She's not all there, like...
She has a learning disability. She doesn't talk much.
Not comfortable. I'm not comfortable with this. She can hate it. She wants. She I don't care. I'm gonna tell everything. I guess I told me that I was gonna talk because I'm not going down for this no more.
Okay.
For someone who doesn't talk much, Jennifer seems to be ready to confess right away.
He would make him sit on it with his legs wide open because I don't know the whole reason.
He would sit on it when it was part of the chair?
Yeah, when it was all together. Because he wouldn't stand still with his legs crossed, hands behind his head. He just, and then he brought that home one day and made me sit on it. I don't know really. Just, I wanted to so many times. But then he would just tell us to make if he would come up with some stupid story when if we ever did, he would just say, oh, I'll just say this and that, and I don't know, it was just...
He just make excuses. I mean, does he drink? Is it when he drinks, or is he just an angry person?
Both.
Does it get worse if he drinks?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Does he drink a lot? Really? Is that what he does all day?
He would usually go out when about, I'd say about 2, 3 in the afternoon, sometimes 4, and I'll come home about 2, 3 in the morning.
Does he ever abuse your sister?
He used to when they lived in Wisconsin, but now he just throws things at the floor and punches walls.
Or takes it out on Dakota?
That too.
So Dakota peed the bed, is that kind of what his problem is with him?
Yeah, but really, and I noticed last maybe week or so he didn't go poop in the toilet, 'cause I'm told to watch him because he likes to rub poop everywhere. So I kind of just peek in on him, see what he's doing, not trying to be gross or anything, and then I noticed that he doesn't poop in the toilet, and so I told Al about that, so he asked him, fat, I didn't know what was going on, I just thought that he just gained weight overnight, so I guess I could have fed him food, really good food, so.
Did he actually eat though?
Yeah, because there's no, what's that?
Did he come down and eat with you guys?
No, we gave him some bowls and a bowl and sent it upstairs.
You had to stay upstairs and eat?
Yeah.
What did he eat?
No, usually what we eat, like pizza and macaroni and cheese and everything, but yeah, so this morning I gave him bagels and peanut butter. Yeah. Usually, and then lately I've been just giving him everything that Joe eats is what I give him. So I don't know what's all going on with that.
Are you the one responsible for feeding him for all the meals?
Yeah.
So when you go up and feed him, is he back in that locked area then?
No, he's just, when you just go upstairs, he's right next to the railing.
Okay. So he was in that area. Was the other area locked off, or?
Yeah, because that's the window in the area. He was in there before, but that's when he jumped out the window, and plus the ceilings all falling down and everything. You got to get that.
That's where he jumped out the window up there?
Yeah, that's why it's boarded up there.
And that's probably because he was being kept up there?
Yeah, that too.
Huh.
So I know that I kind of missed parts, so I just want to make sure that I understand everything, and I apologize if I'm repeating stuff. But so Al got pissed off this morning because Dakota woke him up by walking into things.
Well, yeah, falling down into the bathroom door and over the bathtub.
Okay. So did Dakota take a beating last night? Is that why he was so disoriented today?
He could have, but I went to bed early because I had to get up early. So I'm usually up about, I would say about 6:45 to the boys. Take care of them one at a time.
Blaze? I'm sorry. Is that
to the boys? Okay.
The boys, okay.
Yeah, feed the boys, take care of them, and then go outside, take care of the dogs. I just got a lot to handle.
Yes, ma'am. It sounds like you do.
Yeah, I'm gonna just basically do everything well. He goes out and drinks, and she works.
Okay.
So you don't know if he got...
No, because I sleep with headphones on and face mask, whatever up in me.
Do you do that so you don't hear the screaming?
It's just peaceful. Because I have a fan on back there and everything. It's just my door closed. I just don't hear anything.
Okay. So it's fair to say maybe he did, maybe he didn't last night.
Right.
Okay. But he gets beat on every day.
Pretty much. It's unusual when you don't.
Okay. And did you ever try to take him to the doctor or get him medical help or anything?
No.
Can you explain that to me a little bit?
I don't know how I tried, but he would come up with an excuse saying Dakota's crazy and he does self-harm and everything, so he just comes up with an excuse that it's all Scott's fault.
Part of like a stool or something? What was going on with that?
He would make him sit on it with his legs wide open because...
Like I said, anytime that I put my hands on him, it was to keep him from hurting himself. And I mean, as far as I wouldn't beat him with anything, I would just grab him and like, hey, enough's enough, like arms behind your back, like the police do, you know what I mean? It was never punch you in the eye or slam you or, you know what I mean? Never. All right, I'll get up around, say about 8 o'clock, go get him his breakfast and stuff like that. So I go up there. And he laying on his tarp, and he got it in his butt. I'm like, what the hell do you think you doing? I say, pull it out right now. He wants to get the wrestling, and you know what I mean? Either way.
I don't know what you mean because I don't live in your house, so...
Well, he want to get wrestling and aggressive. Like, he don't want me to take it out of him, and he don't want me to have it, period. You know? So, I grab it out. Blood squirt. Yep. And he started dripping. So, put him in the shower. I put him in the bathtub, and I tried to clean it up and look at it to see if it was, worth me taking him to the ER right away. But to the eye, I'm not the doctor. It didn't look that bad. So I'm just thinking.
What did you see?
Just like, his butt hole with a little blood. Cause I checked it out afterwards. I'm like, whoa, let me see. And she didn't did. And it was, just looked a little swollen. Okay. You know.
Didn't see any injuries or anything?
Nothing too heavy. I see his butt swollen and his legs and his arms and all that, but I see that every day. Okay. It's not a day where he is not gonna add another one. Okay. And here's the thing, as a parent, I'm afraid, I was concerned, like, damn, if I take him anywhere, they're gonna be looking at me like I did this. You know what I mean? So at the same time, I was trying to just get him together so where he didn't have any bruises, and then I can take him somewhere and see about possibly more therapy or something like that.
So you know he needed some sort of treatment.
It started to hit me at the last phases, like his last week. It came downstairs. And like I said, showered him up. He went back upstairs, told him to eat his breakfast. He didn't eat it. He just laid on his bed and he didn't eat it. So I'll just wait a while. I'm like, eventually he'll get hungry, he'll eat. He always eat. He beg for food. He's never he want more and more. It depends on what it is. You know what I mean? I'm like, he has some more, he has some more, some more. Sure, you get some more.
About 20 hours later,
or? Not even 20 hours later. We're talking maybe 3 hours later.
Okay.
So I'm just sitting there like, I'm going to check on his body again, a couple hours, give some time to cool off and check on it. So.
Did you notice how he said check on his body and check on it? Al's choice of words provides a glimpse into his subconscious habit of treating Dakota as an object rather than a person. And the reality wasn't very different. Dakota wasn't just lightly dragged. Al had pulled him down the stairs by gripping his ear. Prior to that, Al had even stood on top of Dakota, but apparently that wasn't sufficient. So he utilized the attic ceiling to exert additional force, resulting in Dakota having multiple broken ribs. Yet if you find this unbearable to hear, it was sadly not a unique occurrence for Dakota. He endured such abuse more frequently than you would want to imagine.
So where does he go to school now? He's homeschooled by me. I give homework assignments. I usually put them off at the library and then I give them to my sister to give to him. And then he reads his books and all that, like the paperwork. So usually on the tablet, then there's a bedroom across from us, which is where it's full of sleeps at. And then my sister, we kind of made her bedroom in the back of the house. It's kind of
Okay, so I mean, Dakota stays in the bedroom
across from mine.
Right, Josiah doesn't stay in there at all.
He naps in there.
So who goes in the upstairs?
No, we leave it locked because it leaks. No, it's off limits.
So why is there urine and stuff up there?
Our dogs go up there sometimes.
And pee in buckets? You guys train your dog to pee in buckets?
There's no buckets up there.
Yeah,
There's a swimming
urine in there.
There shouldn't be no buckets in here. The ceiling leaks. Well, the buckets are.
You stayed up there, right? When you were talking about him pooping and peeing and everything up there.
Yeah.
Things are definitely not adding up. But Al doesn't need anyone else to make him sound guilty. He's managing that all by himself.
So,
And they start talking?
no, not much. So but he's still moving. His eyes is looking at me. He's doing his normal thing.
His eyes are looking at you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what's his normal thing?
Just the freak out that I was telling you about. The freak show.
Okay.
When did he throw up?
Yeah.
Remember when I told you he pushed off his bed and I checked on him, I seen him throw up come out of his mouth?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just wanted to make sure before I wasted the authorities' time that he was not playing around.
You get him down the stairs, and then after he's down the stairs, what happens?
Put him in the shower.
Okay.
Not the shower, but I lay him in the bathtub.
Okay.
At this point, the detectives aren't even trying to believe his story. They know that Al is trying to cover up his crime, but what he doesn't know is that nobody has believed his story yet, not even the very first person who interacted with him, the 911 dispatcher. A child is dead, and these adults can't stop lying. The detective is about to lose it now.
His marks on his
You don't
body.
look at it?
I don't, he's 10, I don't look at his body. I have no idea.
So you never noticed, you never realized he had these marks all over his body, on his arms, on his hands.
Oh,
You never noticed that stuff?
I usually don't. I usually leave.
That's not play stupid, okay? Because I really don't have a lot of tolerance for stupid. You know what I mean?
While Al inflicted most of the abuse, Amanda staying quiet and lying at this point sounds just as bad.
And how long did it take the police to get back when the medics got there?
The police is already here.
The police was already there?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
I tried to cooperate with him and everything. Am I the only one being charged here?
I don't think anybody's been charged yet.
Okay, I'm just asking. I
Okay.
don't know what's going on. You hear me?
Yep. So then the medics take him away, and that's the last thing you know.
And I'm in jail.
I'm sorry?
I said, yes, ma'am. Then I'm in jail.
You've been to jail?
This is jail. I was in that back room back there.
Right, but you've not been to jail.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
So I'm sitting back there. The whole time I'm just thinking my son gonna be all right because they put him in the back of the ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking he's gonna be all right. And I ain't gonna lie, this is another thing I want to say. When I went to give him CPR
Mm-hmm.
and I was taking it, whatever it was, out his mouth, it smelled so rotten, so awful. That's why I'm still kind of curious.
Al thinks waiting for a while in the cell was a bad experience, but little does he know what awaits him after this interrogation.
We're about to sit on the couch,
Sit on the couch.
watching him. It's like a 24-hour watch. It only take him a second. The flip down the stairs over the rail. Not nothing small.
So you watched him on the camera?
I was, yes.
Okay. How come we couldn't see that view of the camera when we were there?
That I don't know.
Did you disconnect the camera?
Not at all. My kids soak it down so good. I'm not exaggerating, man. Sometimes I go up there and I think I'm in the Pacific Ocean. How? I don't know. Can one get so much water? I monitor his water too. I hadn't given him more than he can bear or anything like that. You know what I mean? I try to give him enough to stay hydrated. And
Okay. So these injuries that he has, they just appeared or?
no, he had them over time. But what was I supposed to do?
Take him to the doctor?
But look, here, I always assessed them. I always checked them and made sure nothing was broken or too far bad in my eyes. I mean, because at the same time, you got to understand this. I done had social services at my house maybe 40, 50 times. I done had, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So for me to bring him to the doctor like, oh, he cracked his nugget again, and social services already told me the only way they're going to take him is if they charge me with something like neglect, or it's not, I can't do this. Can y'all please help me?
For all the years he's been raising, let's be honest, abusing Dakota, Al has established a habitual inclination towards dishonesty. Admitting to the truth might amplify the legal and moral repercussions, which is a strong enough incentive to continue fabricating a narrative.
This goes on for days and days and days. I mean, I've seen him flip the table. I mean, he got the table flipped over, sticking his on the table. If you flip this thing upside down and knock this back off, that's just straight ride out. But that's the kind of stuff he was into. I ain't never sexually harassed my child or do nothing like that. That's homophobic. And I mean, that's homo, and I ain't far from gay, you know what I mean? I ain't never played with their private parts. You see my little brother, correct? Healthy as an ox. We give them the same treatment. One just chooses to eat his food, and the other one chooses to eat it.
So your story, I just want to go back to this too. You said this morning, first thing this morning, I think you said around 6 a.m. on a camera, you noticed he was plunged, I think was your word?
Yeah.
So he is...
But I wasn't quite sure because the light was off.
Okay. So like, there was like a yellow stool thing. Is that what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so...
He must have snapped it off because last time I checked it was still connected inside of the thing.
Can you describe what you mean by plunging to me?
Alright, so look. He had, a chair like this.
Right.
You take the back off.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to sit flat on the ground.
Okay.
And I seen him going like this, you hear me? I wasn't telling it. I wasn't able to tell.
So he's putting the chair leg in his butt.
Yep.
That's what you're saying he's doing.
Yep, but here's the thing. I wasn't able to tell if that's what he was doing or if he was just taking another. Because every night he'll get up and do stuff like this. And just, slam it and scream, ah! You know what I mean? Now I'm like, what the f*** is going on? I gotta work. And you only do it on the days that I gotta work the most.
Where do you work?
If ever I did work. Whenever I can, I try to go to the temp service leg work, but I can't never work there that often because of the anxiety, stress. I mean, I'm trying to hold it together. But,
So this morning at 6 a.m. you see him, and I'm using your words, plunging on this chair.
Not quite sure. I seen close to it, and that's what it looked like to me. It just looked like.
Did you see him do this before?
Yeah, but usually with his fingers, and he tried a couple of toys one time. I told social services, I mean, they you can't stop him from being gay or you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So you think he's doing this because he's gay?
I'm not sure if he wanted to hurt his. I know he liked to hurt himself every day. It's a combination. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
And so then later on, you said something about the tarp being up his butt.
The tarp being up his butt.
You said he pulled it out and he was squirting blood.
Yeah.
The tarp.
On the tarp. No, he pulled the stick out or whatever. The stool piece. He pulled it out of his. So I go up there. I'm like, get that out your. You know what I mean? Once the wrestle, I finally yank it out.
So you pulled it out of his butt?
Yep.
So how far in was it?
I can't say. That's the thing. I don't know.
You don't know?
Because I ripped it out so quick.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
that's
so then he
just
started
inappropriate.
squirting blood everywhere?
Not much. It was just like just a real little bit. A little bit here, a little bit there. I'm like, all right, let's have a look at it. You know what I mean? And all I see is it was swollen a little bit. You
didn't see any tears or cuts or...
Mm-mm.
No?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
All right.
Not at the time, no ma'am.
Okay.
And then he made him lay in bed, and he was laying on his side, and then he was at the back of him. I don't know what he was doing at there, I couldn't see. And then he threw him back off the bed, drug him a little bit, and then paying attention to what was going on.
What was Dakota doing? Was he crying, screaming?
Not at first. Well, at first he was, but when it was over, he was quiet.
If everything else wasn't enough, here comes the sexual abuse angle. A child who was already being abused in multiple ways could not possibly insert a stool leg or a tarp up himself. Apart from common sense, multiple testimonies and medical reports explain how Al was the one who was doing all this to his own kid. People, especially those who are secretly monsters, may seek a sense of power and control over vulnerable individuals, and children are unfortunately easy targets. Tragically, Dakota died in the worst way possible, but it paled in comparison to the life of trauma he had endured.
Okay. We were looking at your history. It looks like you had a couple, you got a couple things going on.
All the small stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, like the child endangering. What was that?
My child I went to my baby mama house. I ain't even had custody of kids. I went to sleep a night at my baby mother house. Our kids was 3 and 4 years old. And one of them unlocked the door and went outside. And they was in their diapers playing in the front yard. And that's what it was about. My mom took the kids for a day or two and gave them right back to me.
Okay. There's one in here too for strangulation.
That was on a guy. That it was an even match. He attacked me, and I defended myself. I'm not a violent person. I just defended myself.
So, I'm trying to understand these marks all over him.
Like I said, every day.
He can't do that on his own.
Every day. Oh, he slams back. He runs, he jumps, and wherever land, he lands. I mean it. Or, you know what he do? Excuse me, if you could just pay attention for a second. You know how you got that rail right here by the stairway?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. That's what he do to me. Boom. Hard as he can, just fall out.
Why?
I don't know why. I never understood it. It's all the name. All because he didn't get his way every time that he wanted it. It ain't take much to make him upset.
Well, I think you know we've talked to the other people here.
Okay.
And your story is not consistent with his injuries as theirs. Okay? I will tell you that.
I don't know what to say.
But it's your chance. Like, I understand if you were frustrated with him at different points because you hadn't slept, or because he would do things that bothered you or disgusted you. Here's your chance to say it. But to blame him on him like he's doing him, yeah, we know that's
the only thing I probably did is spank his bottom or hold him down to keep him from eating it. Everything else, I don't know nothing about.
Or put hot sauce on his butt so it'll burn.
That I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
I know you did.
Yeah.
And why did you do that?
To try to get him to quit cracking on himself. Yeah, my daddy did me like that when I was little. When I used to suck my thumb, he put some hot sauce on, I ain't put it in my mouth no more.
Now, while Al is being interrogated here, some officers were at his house searching for evidence of his crimes. Now, these detectives are taking a brief break, code for getting updates on the case. The comparison between a parent using hot sauce on a child's thumb to discourage thumb sucking and pouring hot sauce on Dakota's buttocks suggests a stark contrast in context, intent, and consequence. Any sane person would understand that these two things are not on the same level, but not Al. All this is so disturbing that you might think this is it, right? Wrong. The truth was even worse.
So you telling me they said that I beat him to death? Mm-hmm. Is that what they saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's very inaccurate.
Still punching him, kicking him, elbowing him in the gut, smacking him across the head and everything. And then he recently started using a taser on him. And then he would. Then we got this metal spatula down or whatever that he used to beat him with it. Dakota was sitting on the toilet and he elbowed him in the back. And then he fell to the floor and he
Take your time.
started beating on him. And then he threw him in the bathtub and it sounded like he was drowning him. So he was talking to him and telling him he was going to drown him, and it sounded like that because all I heard was splashing because he wouldn't clean his shorts because he came down wet over this morning. And he took him back upstairs and threw him out. Then he made him lay on his stomach, hands behind the back, and he stepped on him.
The autopsy report was so horrible that the examiners said that they had never seen such horrific details in their lifetime. There were widespread blunt force injuries on Dakota's body, including both fresh and healing abrasions across the head, torso, and extremities. Internal bruising was found in the stomach lining. The autopsy also revealed severe pulmonary edema, which is when the lungs are filled with fluid, which suggests drowning. He had been branded with 4 letters, starting with the letter T on his back. The entire buttocks area displayed extensive bruising and swelling down to the bone. The most critical, albeit not externally visible injury, was severe neck bruising, comparable to injuries seen in severe cases like car accidents. The cause of death for Dakota turned out to be blunt force trauma, combined with compressive asphyxia and water submersion. And with this, the detective can be seen getting visibly disappointed and maybe even disgusted by the extent of Amanda's lies.
So, obviously he drove you crazy.
I don't want to say that.
Well, I
I
he irritated you. He made you angry. You sit here and talk about how he's stunk.
Yeah, I ain't slept in days, but I wouldn't say that. Yeah, at times he did drive me crazy. At times I did not know what I would do, but I would always try to stay level-headed and just see through another day.
But I'm sure there's times that you didn't. And we know you didn't. I mean, in all honesty, we have witnesses, obviously, that were there when you were doing this stuff to him. Yeah, all these marks that are not self-created.
Yeah. Half of them are not. Some of them, like I said, I stank them at times.
Would you stank him with?
A spatula.
A spatula?
Yeah. It was flat. Yeah.
What is this here?
That's a rash. That's from his nastiness. Just a rash. Laying in his piss every day, ate his back up.
No, that's not.
That, I don't know what that is. I thought it was a rash. I've been seeing it for weeks. I actually thought it was a rash.
Maybe if you took him to the doctor, you would know.
What could I have done to cause that? What causes that?
Him?
Drag him where?
Down the steps.
No, ma'am.
On the carpet?
No, ma'am. We don't have any carpet. I did not drag him. I mean that. We don't have no carpet. I didn't drag the boy.
You didn't see the tear in his butt today, in his anal area?
The tear?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The
tear.
I think it's swollen, but I didn't.
It's plain as day a cut. Yep. A tear, actually.
It's possible.
Did you have to hold him down in the bathtub? Was he fighting you to get out of the bathtub?
No. No, ma'am. Not at all.
So as nasty as he is,
James spanked him before.
you take him.
Amanda spanked him before. I mean, we all use the same thing. The spatula. It ain't never been nothing heavy. I just pop him on the butt a couple times, whap, 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 get right. I mean, because he obviously just keep trying to hurt himself.
Get right before what? You started saying
no,
right
don't
before.
see, look, see, that's the mind games. It's not before what? It's get right before you hurt yourself. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah, before you endanger yourself.
Okay. When you spank him, what do you spank him with?
My hand.
Your hand? You don't use anything else?
Mm-hmm.
Just your hand?
Yeah. And that's really that, because he was thinking so damn bad that if I touch him, that I'm going to smell for days.
This is the final aspect of abuse he inflicted on Dakota: emotional. We cannot be sure if Dakota ever felt loved, or if he knew what love, care, and support was in the last few years of his life. Nobody wanted to touch him, and he was forced to live alone in a dark attic, completely naked while getting punished and abused daily. There wasn't a single thing that Al didn't put him through.
That's what it looks like to me.
Don't know what that is. I'm telling you, never seen it. Besides the fact, when I did see it, I just thought it was a rash.
So all these marks are probably spatula marks? Is that what you're telling me? I mean,
yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
Is that what killed him?
I would say the spatula marks did not. But possibly throwing him around or stepping on him or putting your knee on his chest or something along those lines.
Yeah, I did this morning, but it was only to keep him from hurting himself. Like, he didn't want to come off the thing that was in his butt. Like, he wanted to fight for it. I'm like, I ripped it out and he was still, you know what I mean, aggressive. I'm like, you need to lay down, settle down. He didn't want to lay down. I just tried to get him to calm down for a second.
So he's naked, you pulled this thing out of his butt, which probably hurt. I mean, I'm guessing it hurt him.
It must have. I didn't know at the time. I mean, and I don't do the butt thing. I don't know nothing about it. What hurt was my pride and my feelings. And the fact that he's up there doing that. He know how embarrassing that is. I'm like, what are you doing? Give me that. And that's when it squirted out, miss. And that's when I addressed it right away. That's it. I go back downstairs and I sit down. And I just watch him to see if he's going to do anything else that can cause more harm than a spanking. And that's what I waited for. And I just sat there and I watched him. And that was it. He didn't do anything.
Right there?
That. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
And then at some point he calls you up there again?
Yes, ma'am. Yup. And that's when I went to go check on him. And that's when he started not looking good. Yeah, so he's laying on his side, doing that, something, and he's just putting on a show again, you know what I mean?
He puts on a show like he's having a seizure?
Oh, yeah. 24/7. Like this.
Are you sure he's putting on a show? I mean,
yes,
he has been to the hospital.
Yes, ma'am, it was not a seizure because, look, I can tell him, like, stop it right now, and here's the sucker.
We've noticed Al's self-centered perspective a couple of times during this interrogation, but now he's admitted it himself. But the craziest part is, Dakota wasn't doing anything to hurt Al's ego. After standing on Dakota with his full weight, Al went downstairs to watch TV. Unsatisfied, he poured hot sauce on Dakota's butt, dragged him down the stairs, and asked him to wash his shorts. Dakota, who had just been crushed and beaten, couldn't really walk or do anything. That's when Al almost drowned him. He took Dakota back upstairs, where he immediately curled into the fetal position. Al then used the chair leg. Through the CCTV monitor, it looked like Al was moving his hand back and forth. The first thought would have been hot sauce, but when Al came back downstairs, he tossed the chair leg behind the dresser. The biggest surprise is that after doing all these terrible things, he still thinks that the detectives will believe his story. They'd been calm so far, but at this point, even they're being sarcastic and are openly contradicting Al's lies with evidence.
I'm afraid for my life. Yeah. I'm hurt that my child is gone. It's unbelievable. Like, I still don't believe right now. He's dead, gone, not coming back.
You're afraid for your life?
Yes, I am.
Mm-hmm. Your child said, and you're afraid for your life.
I'll be spending the rest of my life in prison. I'm 30 years old. What I'm gonna do for the rest of my life, all because I tried to raise my child the right way and he became defiant and we ran into a situation. You know what I mean? People knew what he was doing. Yeah. But at the same time, it wasn't for them to do anything about it. It was for me to do something. I feel like I should have really just tried harder on getting some better counseling. Yeah. But we in Ohio at that too. That's automatic death penalty, ain't it? It is, ain't it?
What are you thinking is death penalty?
They just changed the law.
I'll look into that, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
Al is facing the primal instinct of self-preservation that borders on narcissism. He's seeking some assurance and sympathy from the detectives. But people who prey on the defenseless receive no sympathy, not even in prison, which is full of hardened criminals. Al Mutahan McLean was arrested and charged with 1 count each of murder, rape, and kidnapping, in addition to 3 counts of child endangerment. His girlfriend, Amanda, and her sister, Jennifer, pleaded guilty to involuntary manslaughter and endangering a child. On September 29, 2021, Judge J. Dennis Adkins, presiding over the Montgomery County Common Pleas Court, sentenced Al to 51 years to life in prison, the maximum allowable penalty. Eligible for parole only in 2072 at the age of 83, release conditions include registering as a Tier 3 sex offender and a violent offender. Amanda's sentence ranges from 22 to 27.5 years, contingent on her behavior in prison, while Jennifer has been ordered to serve 8 to 12 years. While Takota's passing may have spared him from further pain, the manner of his death at the hands of his own father, the very person entrusted with his care and protection, remains deeply distressing. Given the context, we invite you to share your thoughts and insights on this case. Why do you think Al subjected his own son to all this abuse but cherished his brother? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you'd like us to cover any specific case, please drop your suggestions. Also, remember to like, comment, and subscribe so that we can keep covering such cases. Until next time, stay safe.